2022 ATSSB Etude number 1. From the rows 32 Etudes, this is number 5. Etude number 5 is tricky. Slow etudes are always the hardest because everything is bigger and more complex, so flaws show more easily. A good approach to this etude is to start with the blackest spots on the page. In our excerpt, that's measures 21, 25, and 27 with the 32nd note passages, and measures 22 and 26 with triplet sixteenths. Be aware that most music breaks down into divisions by 2s and 4s and 8s. And divisions by 3s is not as obvious and takes a little more getting used to, but it does work. I'd suggest that in these early days, isolate those little sections, set your metronome per note, and play the passage perfectly at a really slow tempo. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 dum. Several times. Da, 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 dum. Da, 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 dum. Da, 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 dum. I can't da any faster than that. In 4 or 5 minutes, you should have a really clean performance at a pretty good tempo speed. Now, 100 to the 32nd note is 50 to the 16th and 25 to the 8th. It's 12.5 to the quarter, if that helps you at all. At first, you don't care what the quarter note number is because you're playing 30 seconds and mastering this little technical passage, or whatever it is that you're counting, 30 seconds or triplet sixteenths or something. But as you get faster, the clicks or chirps on the metronome will get too fast to hear and understand clearly, and you will want to cut the time, so you're counting sixteenths, and then cut it again so that you're counting eighths and squeezing more notes in each time. On the other extreme is that it's really hard to hang on to the tempo at quarter note equals 58. Subdivisions get really very imprecise, which you don't want in your audition. So you set your metronome at 60. Okay, that will 60 for all intents and purposes, 58. But hard to stay that slow. So it's easier to hear and understand da, 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 subdivided counts. Treat the triplet sixteenths, 3 notes, three triplet sixteenths totaling the value of 1/8, not of 2, the same way. Your triplet sixteenths will fill the value of an 1/8, supposedly at 116, which is our tempo. A couple of traps. In the midst of all this flying 16th and 32nd note stuff, it's hard to believe how long a quarter note lasts. Do the math and believe it. The transitions from one kind of rhythm to another is confusing until you've done it a few times. So master the fast passages, then practice approaching and leaving those passages being mathematically correct every time until it becomes instinctive. In a slow flowing passage, don't play quick, choppy grace notes. Da, 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 da. It's out of character. And so we'll be grading you on musicianship, among other things. It's hard to trill and count at the same time, and yet you have to. If you need someone, as you're learning the piece, to count out loud for you, then deputize someone to do that. But you want to be accurate all the time. A thought. Practice is not repetition. Practice is repeated success. The rhythmic figure at the end of measure 25 commands a lot of attention to be perfect. So here we are, measure 25, 32nd notes, most of the way, da, 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 dum, ba, bum. da 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 dum ba bum, da 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 dum ba bum, da 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 dum ba bum. Okay, so work it out gradually and do this over several days so that you really are instinctively going to do the right thing. You don't have to concentrate at that exact moment. It's already yours. So that all takes us back to our idea of slow practice with the metronome and then working it up to speed.